or juvenile crime, prison systems, and so forth and so forth.
Historically, have you ever, looked at the trends nationally, say over the last 50 years or anything like that?
We have, and unfortunately, what we're finding is because the data was so poorly kept early on.
Yes.
For instance, Texas over the last 7 years has had more child deaths due to child abuse and neglect than any other state.
Wow.
And so what we're seeing is why? Why?
Right.
And so they said, well, we're doing a better job of doing, we've got more child fatality review teams, we're doing a better job with children advocacy centers, so they're doing more to document this child died from child abuse.
Right.
I'm not sure that's accurate. I'm just not sure we're doing as much to prepare parents to have kids.
I just really like what I'm hearing from you, and I'm wondering if I wanted to follow this up, or if there's a way, to do some investigative kind of analysis, or try to wake America up.
I'd be happy to work with you any way we can, and if you have a card, I'll be happy to call you and provide you with some information on it. Because we've got to get the word out. I don't think, last year there were 75,000 kids confirmed abused.
Yes, sir.
I don't think the public's aware of the many kids in Texas were abused.
Are there disparities there, though?
Right.
Disparity in...
As far as when you said you did statistics on it.
Right.
Did you show disparities as far as single parenthood?
The single parents are definitely a stress level. Lower education is a stress level. Poverty, lower socioeconomic is a stress level. So they're all stress levels, but it crosses all socioeconomic. Marilyn Vandermeer, former Miss America, from a $1 billion family, millionaire family, was sexually abused by her father. So there are cases. Andrea Yates, the case.
Is that disparity there?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely there. It is there. And
is it related to poverty and?
Yeah, because they're extra stressors on the family, and except for sexual abuse, most of the time it's lack of parent education or parent support. A lot of parents don't know what's acceptable for what should a child be doing, when should they be potty trained, because a lot of abuse starts at potty training.
I see.
If the car breaks down, dad gets mad, comes in the home, takes it out on the child. Wow. So there's a lot of things, the stressors. So poverty, lower socioeconomic, and we tend to parent as we were parented, good, bad, or otherwise. And if you came from a home that was abusive,
sure,
that child, when they become parents, are 6 times as likely to abuse their own child as someone that wasn't abused. So we see the cycle being perpetrated in that way also.
It is a cycle. So
it is a cycle.
The disparities are growing now. That's become sort of exposed and almost even dangerous for what we've done to this cycle.
Right.
How this cycle got generated or even still can create it. As you said that or what was the name of that organization you said it's going to be disbanded or something? Child Protective Services?
Well, it's not going to be disbanded, but they are going to take some cuts. And they're already
He's saying that the state of Texas across the board will be trying to reduce
as far as the liabilities on what.
Then I think we're going to see more and more kids left in harmful situations until they die. And then they'll be, but then it's too late. But I think there's all kinds of statistics. You make statistics say what you want to, but they say for every dollar we spend on prevention, you'll save $5 on treatment and therapy after the child's been abused.
So when you say treatment and therapy, like even some of the school systems, putting the kids on medication, as far as it seems maybe the study we worked on showed dysfunctional history. As far as the rate of suicide, and a friend of mine, she works with suicide victims.
Right.
And she says that rate shows the disparity being first from a dysfunctional history.
Well, and we're also seeing, talking about suicides with kids, for the state of, I think it came out of California, there was a study that came out that said kids abusing kids, cyberbullying, if you will, is a bigger problem to children than pedophiles surfing the internet. And we're seeing a lot of kids who are being abused by other kids and cyberbullying and all. And we're seeing suicide, we're seeing low self-esteem, and I think we're damaging, if you will, damaging our kids before they ever become adults.
Did you follow any of the state board action with the education?
As a matter of fact, the legislature last session requires all school districts to get training on bullying, which is their number one problem. but we don't know what to do with
Well,
it.
you know, Texas taught as a curriculum hip hop. Do you think maybe hip hop might have generated a little bit of the bullying as far as?
There has been some people that looked at it. I'll be honest, the studies I've read have not been conclusive, but it tends to say that when kids listen to violent music, watch violent video games, they do have a higher rate of abuse, and then they tend to take that abuse on to other sides. Matter of fact, saying about the bullying, I think it's 72% of kids identified as bullies in middle school had a court conviction by the time they were 22. One of the biggest indicators of juvenile crime is if they were identified as a bully in middle school.
Have you heard of the JDAI program, the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative, with the Casey Foundation?
Yes.
Oh, you have heard of it?
Yeah, I know the Casey Foundation. I don't know much about the program, but I've heard about it. I've read about it. I don't know any statistics.
Will you try to adopt that here in Bexar County? I mean, you a native of Bexar County?
No, I'm actually from Austin.
Oh, you're in Austin.
Yeah.
I don't even think Austin has that
No, they do not.
model site. I think there's in Texas. You have it in Dallas and Houston.
And they were trying to get one in San Antonio, where Casey has a major presence, but it hasn't happened. In Houston, they look at Houston ISD. They don't know what, there's such a large school district. They're trying to figure out how to do it, because anytime you implement a program with a district that large, the budget all of a sudden you see